And welcome back to Open Studio on Wednesday night. What's going on, everyone? Okay, so since you guys have seen this last, I did give this a quick shot of. There we go. You gave that a shot of the Autoborn Sealer, the 6000, and that'll just lock that down, so they don't have to worry about it as much if I'm like working on it and I happen to put my hand on it, it won't rub off. Some of those fades are really, really delicate until there's some clear on it. So yeah, so there we go. All right, so we're going to just keep going. I'm going to move up and then I'm going to start running across the other way. So we'll start with these buildings right here in the corner. Let's start with, what can I get here? I can get that one out of this. Yeah, we're just going to start with the building right above that brick building that we did. I say brick, the brick colored building. Knife. So I'm still going to use this one even though I just used this template, and that's pretty close, but it's going to be okay because again this is more just a get this kind of in there, it's not a, again, I say it a billion times, it's a drawing guide more than a template. So I want that one. I want to know where that building is. Since I'm here, I'll take this line right here. That'll basically tell me where this building is here. That's good. Top of that. What else can I get that will be helpful here? Got that. I am going to look at that. Yeah, I've got that. Got that. Oh, the top of that building. What can I do there? Not much. You have to kind of wing that. All right. I think it's going to be a good start. You know what? We'll try to get these windows in here too. I can get this group of buildings done here. That'll be a big win. Okay, and just because I'm there, let's see if we can get this little rectangle back here. All right, so soapbox for today. Again, I come unprepared, and I recorded a bunch of these in a row. So if you guys have made suggestions, which I hope you have, I didn't get a chance to see them because they have not happened yet. That is in the future for me. So let's see. Oh, that's good. I love when I put a template on and I don't see paint through it. That means that I didn't do it before, so we're in good shape. Line this up really well. That looks good. Okay, still got black on the brush. Again, this is just a, kind of show me where things are type of thing. So even though this building is lighter, I'm still going to hit it with the black just so I can see it, and then I'll adjust it after. These things up here are darker, so I can kind of hit them. Same thing with this rectangle and the windows. Good. Yeah, see, so that puts in those windows there, kind of gives me an idea where this building is, and we are off to the races. All right, so this building here is a little bit lighter. It's more tan. So let's start messing in this area here. I don't know if we'll get all of this done, but we're gonna have a good run at it. And like I said, that first row is everything's the biggest because it's the closest. It's the you know, most, you could see the most in it. So once I get to this next level, the buildings are there, but they're not, you know, there's even less detail on them because they're starting to recede. And then once, like I said, once you get up to the river and beyond that, everything is, you know, everything's going to fly. Again, do I think this is going to go real fast? No, but, you know, it'll be good. All right, so I'm going to need a tan again, but a lighter tan. So let's grab this tan that we were working with before. I'll pull some out. What I'm looking for is to make sure there's, you know, not too much yellow in that. This is really tan. Do I want to do this? No, I don't. So I'm going to put some of that over here, drag a little bit more out. Now I can grab some black just to kind of take the edge off it. That's probably too much, but maybe not. I got plenty here. Yeah, that's good. So see, it just kind of makes it a little bit less in your face. Again, should I airbrush this? Probably. But again, the brown is good, the white is good, so it's just going to take a couple passes to get it smooth. Again, it would have been faster if I just airbrushed this, because I could have, you know, used that same template and drop it in. It's ready to go. So let's try it this way real quick. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just, like I said, this will just, although that one on really smooth. It may not take more than 2 or 3 coats, so I'm going to go with that. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. Let that dry, get another coat on it, and that will be fine. All right, so then maybe we could start working on, well, we should really get this building here buttoned up. What's going on there? That's that. Okay, yeah, let's get this building kind of locked in. Okay. How is your week going? Good, I hope. Things are rolling here, so we're happy. This white felt a little bit thin. I don't know why. When it's thin, it's just overly transparent, you know? I don't know why that is. Okay, so this side of the building. I should paint this black before I do this, because the windows, I'll show you in a second. Yeah, yeah, I'll paint it black. So the windows are basically black, and then the mullions are white. So we're gonna instead of, in this instance, we're gonna paint the black first, and then paint the white in, and that will give me better rectangles for the window than if I tried to paint the windows individually. I'd have to clean each one up and just a pain in the butt. But if I paint this whole strip black, I can just run across with white lines, and it'll give me what I want. Oh, that kicked out. So the brush kicked out and ruined that white line, but that's okay, because I'm going to have the white in there anyway. That looks good for now, though. Since I'm here and messing with it, I'll put those 2 little windows down here. I said little windows. These are probably like gigantic, like boardroom windows. There we go. Good. All right, so now we play the cleanup game. Grab the... Actually, you know what I should have done? So what I got to do is, before I go and put my paintbrush in the white, so I rinsed it out, but I think what happened was I rinsed it out, kind of quickly dried it, but I didn't really dry it. So this time I kind of, you didn't see it, but I grabbed the white glove. Oh, the thing isn't on. Sorry about that. There we go. So what I did was I just kind of grabbed the brush and run it through like the cloth part of my glove here, and that takes all the moisture out of it. Obviously if you do this, you want to make sure you don't, push it in because you'll screw up the bristles. But it does a great job at like kind of drying it out. These brushes are, these gloves are sacrificial. They're white cotton gloves, but I use them until they can't stand it anymore, and I just toss them. So, okay. Oh, cleaning up, right. All right, so let's get this edge done first again, since I kind of kicked out there and messed up that line. Oops, did it the other way now. That's all right, though. I'll fix that when I do the other side of the building. All right, so under the windows here. Am I happy with that? Not really. There we go. I'm not worried about this side. Just worried about the window side. That's good. That's real good. All right, so these windows are long and rectangular. The first one's really narrow. Like that. The second one is just rectangular. It looks like that. Now I'm just going to run them down. Keeping that angle the same. Oops. So now some of them, like that one, that one got kind of screwed up, which I can fix them. But if I only have to fix one or two, it's so much better than if I have to fix like a million of them. So that's good. There's nothing else going on there except that window. Good. Good. Looks good. This kind of got lost, this little roof. So we're going to pull this back out since I got the white in the brush. Excellent. Okay. Good. This other building is darker, so I should have, I still can. So this this face right here is a lot darker than I have it, which is fine because I didn't do anything with it. So I don't want to screw up that white edge, so I'm going to put a piece of paper here as a block. I'm just going to airbrush that in. Lovely. Lovely, 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 lovely. Yeah, that's nice. Good. So that little guy has tiny little, again, verandae, I guess. They are here. Good. Quick line down there, and we got more black up there, but we're gonna, oh, the white continues up onto the roof here. Get the edge of that roof in too. This is really watering out. I just hit a spot in this brush where it had a lot of liquid in it, so now that paint is just like flowing out of this brush. So what was going on there, and this is so micro small, so the end of the brush has thicker paint in it, but the belly of the brush for whatever reason has more liquid in it, so maybe I didn't squeeze it out enough. I didn't get enough of that water out. So eventually when you get through, you use all the thicker paint at the end, now it opens up, basically opens up the valve for whatever is left in the belly of the brush, and it just flows out. Again, these are like advanced paintbrush things, things you start to notice as you use these paintbrushes more. And it happens with every paintbrush. If you, rinse out a brush and don't really, get all the whatever out, you're going to get it sooner or later. So, all right, that's good. Just keep cleaning this up. black is probably too much. Let's go with a dark gray. Darker gray. I said darker gray. Here we go. Lovely. All right, so yeah, so this thing, clean this right up. Excellent. There are two little windows on the top of this. Yeah, I gave up looking up buildings. That was fun in the beginning, but editing Steve was like, what are you doing? Stop it. It's too many. Okay, that's good. Got some roof greebles, you know, little things going on there. This has a square on it, which I got to get. That roof line is wrong anyway. Okay. White. Bit of white. Yeah, white's going to work, even though this is kind of a light gray. Now, again, I sprayed this with Autoborn Sealer, the transparent sealer, 6000. It's super easy to spray. It's not quite like the base coats. It's a little bit more slick than the base coats, but the paint does really stick well to it. So it's kind of the same deal. I could certainly spray it with 40/50, you know, the gloss or even the satin. But what I like about the sealer is it's stronger. You know, it has a more aggressive adhesion. I don't care about the sheen because when I go to put the satin over the top, or this one will actually be automotive clear, it's going to, you know, even out the sheen of the whole thing anyway. So it doesn't really matter about whether it's gloss or matte or satin. The reason why I probably wouldn't use satin or matte is because they have those agents in them to do that. Meaning the gloss is the 40/50. So the satin is the same thing as the gloss, but they add a satin additive to it. So you have that extra, you know, additive. Same thing with the matte. It's a matte additive added to that. So when I'm doing something like this where I just want to like cover it up, like, you know, protect it, I don't want all that extra stuff in it. I don't need the matte or the satin. So like I said, it would be the 40/50, or in this case, I just went with the Autoborn Sealer transparent, and that worked out really great. All right, these guys have a little bit of darkness under each veranda or whatever. That in. That's nice. Really nice. Good. These windows need to be a bit darker. Didn't I say one of these was screwed up? They look good. And so black rectangle on this roof. You can just barely see the windows on the other side of this building. We'll get to those too. Get all the fun stuff on these two buildings first on the roof, and then they'll be done. Yeah, that's nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right, so this is the face of that building. There's no windows or anything on that thing right there. So now we can add the windows in, which are just barely going to be seen. Like you barely see them. So I'm just going to kind of run them up the side of this or down the building. I'll do down so I get the right angle on the roof. There we go. There's a little bit of something on the roof too. That's great. Now by this time my little tan building here is all dry, so I'm good with that. I got black in the brush, so I'll keep going with that. Put in some windows on that guy too. So those are little square windows. These windows I can just kind of pop in. And it goes off the edge of mine. No, yeah, you can see them. It's another bank of windows right here, which, I can't see on, I can just barely see them on my reference, but there we go. That's good. All right, so that's my little tan building. That little tan building has a white roof as well, but it's pretty small. Again, there's too much liquid in this brush. That was, again, rookie move. It just flows out and makes a mess, Where if you get that paletted just right and the paint just right, when you put that paintbrush stroke down, it goes exactly where you want it. It doesn't flow out, it doesn't do anything. And again, that's just messing with it in practice, Oops, done the wrong spot too. Oh well, that's okay. All right. I am happy with that. All right, good. The building above it, this guy here, let's work on that one. And see what I mean? Like, even though these buildings are the same size as all the other ones, though, they're starting to, you can see less of them because of the angle. And, they're starting to get smaller. So I'll be able to, instead of like the previous episodes of this, where I'm just, kind of doing one building per episode just to get them in, you'll find that, okay, now I'll be able to like knock out 3 or 4 buildings, or especially as we get going, I'll be able to knock out like a whole block or more than a whole block. This paint is terrible too. So instead of putting a nice little rectangular line, it all blobs together. So that just means I got to fix that because I'm trying to do things that I shouldn't do. That's okay though. What could go wrong? All right, I don't want to leave this for too long here. So we'll let that dry. Actually, we won't let that dry. What do I need here? Let's get these windows in here because this building will be close to done when I get these windows in. If I can without screwing them up. Yeah, this, jeez. Aye, Steve. Let's get a little bit more. Come on, man. With that. Airbrush hose everywhere. Yeah. Jeez. Aye. All right. So see how they're transparent and then there's a little blob at the end. That's just because I'm trying to conserve paint, and it's stupid. Literally drops of paint, you know what I mean? And I don't know. It's a problem I have. What can I say? Let's get some lighter gray. Maybe not that light. Okay, good. Yeah, that's going to work. So now, like I said, it's not a huge major deal that I, had a crappy black in there and it flowed out and screwed everything up, because basically I'm going to do the same thing I did with the other building. I'm just going to repaint those windows in and clean them all up with the color of the building itself. It sharpens up all those edges and corners and everything and makes everything straight, and it works. But again, if it takes extra time, because if I had done it right the first time, those windows would just be in and I'd be moving on. So I don't like that at all. We're going to hit the reset button on these windows. These things suck. So we're going to take them right out for now. These ones are okay. These are all okay. These ones were terrible. So we're going to take them out. And we're going to fix them. This is what I mean about, you know, these paintings being a tractor pull. There's all kinds of stuff like this, you know, where just taking a second and cutting a corner ends up meaning you have to like redo a whole area, you know. All right, we'll let that dry a minute. And while that's drying, we'll look at this little thing down here. There's not much, I mean, there's a lot going on there, but it's hard to tell exactly what it is, which is good. Because again, it boils down to just kind of like, you know, painting what you see. Like there's a shorter building there that you can't really make out too much of the other stuff that's going on there. So we're going to indicate what we can see there and run around the rest of it, and that'll be it. Looks like there's outdoor steps on it, like maybe a parking garage or something. Tighten up those edges. Yeah, and I know that's flowed out, you know, the same thing. The white was a little bit wet, so just got to let that dry now. But while that's set up, I think I'm okay to start working back up in here. So what I should have done is what I did on that other building, which means these lines I knew where they were supposed to be. All the stuff lines up with them. Just checking to make sure first. No, they don't. It's a totally separate building. All right, well, I was going to run those lines across, but this is a separate thing, so it gets individual windows anyway. Good. And then this side has these cool curvy windows. That's fancy. And then the other side of this building ends in really a dark line, which is good. That will connect it with the street when we get there. Whatever's going on right here. That works for that, though. Lovely. There's going to be some airbrushing on that, too. And I got to clean those up as well. But that's a win. Okay, let's see if there's enough of this. There isn't really, so we'll make some more of it. A bit of white. Tiny bit of black. Tiny more bit of black. Yeah. So now we can clean up these windows. These windows go all the way to the edge, but not here. So there's a black line between these two banks of windows. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the edge of those windows like that. So now they're nice and straight, which is what I want. Yeah. And then I can put in the black line. But that's got to dry a little bit too. So we'll work on the roof for this one. There's a lot of fun stuff going on the roof of these two buildings. This is a light gray, but there's some black going on here too. Let's get the gray in first. There we go. All right, the black line. I'm definitely going to use the good black here, and this time I'm going to palette out that brush. So I'm pushing the kind of the brush into the paint all the way up to the ferrule, so I know I won't get any of that, you know, different viscosity halfway through the brush. And then I'm going to pull the brush on the wet palette so that I get it paletted out, and that spreads all the paint through. And I am going to turn this because this line is going to be fun. It is between these two sets of windows, and it touches this set. So when you take your time and you palette everything out, you know, you can get these micro small lines. But if I'm using crappy paint and I'm trying to rush it, you know, I could never pull a line like that with halfway dried paint. Halfway dried up paint and all that fun stuff. These windows go to the top. These windows do not, so that's fine. So, that, as far as the soapbox goes for today, that's really what that is. Everyone's like, I see it all the time on the intro to airbrushing forum, like the pages, the groups on Facebook, new airbrusher type forums, and everyone says the same thing. It's, can I buy this cheap craft paint and just practice with it? And, the quick answer is, yeah, of course you can. But the other side of that is it's going to give you a hard time the whole way through. Does that make you better? I don't know. If you stick with it and keep fighting it until you get it to work, when you get actually decent paint, you'll fly. You'll be like, oh my gosh, this is so easy, right? But more times than not, what people do is they're trying to learn how to use the tool, the airbrush, and they can't even concentrate on that because they're fighting the paint so much. And the same thing is true with like a cheap garbage airbrush. If you are, if you're trying to fight this thing to get it to just function normally, you're never gonna, it's so hard to get down the basics, So I keep saying it. It's worth it to just, get some decent tools. Look, if you buy something brand name and you hate it, there is someone who will buy that from you. You know what I mean? Like if you buy an Iwata and you use it for a month and say, you know what, this really isn't for me. I'm not enjoying this or whatever, and you want to sell it, you'll get most of your money back on that. If you just buy like, the cheapest whatever piece of garbage you can find, what am I doing here? That's that. I'm in the wrong spot. That's up here. Cheapest piece of garbage you can find, you might as well just toss it when you're done. And yeah, you're out whatever you spent, $20 for a total garbage airbrush. But, you certainly didn't give it enough of a chance because you were fighting the airbrush more than, painting. So that's what I say to people. Like I know, like the brand names, the brand names. Like Createx is not, you can find cheaper paints than them. They're not super expensive, but it's not like buying like series whatever oil paints from Winsor and Newton that are like pure pigment and $80 a tube or whatever, $100 a tube. It's not like that, but it is more expensive than craft paint, So you gotta just kind of run with that. And I'm gonna call it there. I'm getting so distracted. I didn't realize we were running long. So let me give you the full view of this. Here we go. And this is where we're at. Yeah, what can I say? I love hanging out with you guys. It's awesome. So if you would be so kind as to hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed, please do that. Put your comments down below too. If you have a soapbox that you want me to hit, I'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to support us in a more financial way, you can become a member here on YouTube and Patreon, and that'll get you a discount on my website, and as well as early access to Time Lapse Tuesday. All right, so for Steve Leahy and the painting through Lachlan's eyes, I will catch you all next Wednesday. Have a great week, guys.